What's going on, everyone? Going to take the history, and today we're coming with the sad news, the passing of the longest known iron lung inhabitant, Paul Alexander. A polio survivor has passed away at the age of 78. Paul Richard Alexander was born on January 30th, 1946, and unfortunately passed away on March 11th, 2024. He was an American lawyer and paralytic polio survivor. He was one of the last people living in an iron lung after he contracted polio in 1952 at the age of 6. Paul earned a bachelor's degree and a Juris Doctorate degree from the University of Texas at Austin, and he was a self-published author, publishing his memoir in 2020 after spending 8 years working on it. Alexander contracted polio at the age of 6 and was paralyzed for life, only able to move his head, neck, and mouth. During a major outbreak of polio in the early 1950s, hundreds of children from around Dallas, Texas, including Alexander, were taken to Parkland Hospital. There, children were treated in a ward of iron lungs. He almost died in the hospital before a doctor noticed that he was not breathing and rushed him into an iron lung. Beginning in 1954, with the help from the March of Dimes and a physical therapist named Miss Sullivan, Alexander taught himself how to frog breathe, which allowed for him to leave his iron lung for gradual increasing periods of time. Alexander was one of the Dallas Independent School's first homeschooled students. He learned to memorize instead of taking notes, and at the age of 21, he graduated second in his class from W.W. Samuel High School in 1967, becoming the first person to graduate from a Dallas high school without physically ever attending a class. Alexander received a scholarship to Southern Methodist University. He then transferred to the University of Texas at Austin, where he earned a bachelor's degree in 1978 and a Juris Doctorate degree in 1984. He had a job teaching legal terminology to court stenographers at an Austin trade school before being admitted to the bar in 1986. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, Alexander had been recognized as the person who had spent the longest amount of time living in an iron lung, believed to be over 70 years. Unfortunately, Alexander contracted the COVID-19 virus a few weeks ago and succumbed to an infection and passed away on March 11, 2024 at the age of 78. A GoFundMe had been created a few years ago because apparently some of his caregivers were mismanaging his money and stealing from him, which was extremely unfortunate. But through the selflessness of many donors, he was able to live out the remaining parts of his life, being able to maintain his iron lung and live a quality of life, as well as be able to pay for his funeral expenses. I've covered this story through years. I remember the first time I saw Alexander's story was probably 15-20 years ago, and hearing his story, hearing his life, seeing the accomplishments that he made, never allowing his circumstances to define his life, allowing his actions to dictate his narrative, is extremely inspiring. So as always, rest in peace, Alexander. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure you do so, and catch you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Continue with the history and film.